and my country.
Welcome to Uganda First. My name is Frank Simbi. We discuss how to make Uganda a better country as citizens. We have explored different topics. Those who have been following the show, last Thursday we talked at length about developing a sense of patriotism in the fight against poverty, and the feedback is very positive. Not so long ago we had another exciting topic about a patriotic citizen in transforming the country. That even indicated to us that we have to explore further our duty as citizens. As a citizen, does it matter to you that you have to put your country first, and that by doing so there can be a lot of positive outcomes? And what is putting country first? Is it about waving the national flag on Independence Day or hanging it somewhere in your office, house or car? No. At least we all agree that it is more than that. Putting country first goes with action, and that action is anchored on the discovery of your purpose as a Ugandan. Friends, putting country first, let us reflect on the duty of a citizen once more. Willis Bashasha is here in studio together with Bishop Samuel. Bishop is a communications assistant at the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, while Bashasha is the director of the manifesto implementation department in the office of the president. Good to see you, gentlemen. Welcome to the show, Uganda First. Yes. Mr. Bashasha, how is office of the president?
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. The office of the president is okay.
I imagine there is a lot of activity now, finalizing the previous manifesto.
Yeah, that's part of it.
2016.
But also on a bigger scale, we are also busy with the preparations for the swearing in.
Oh yes, May 12.
Which is around the corner.
Okay. Yeah. Bishop, Bishop is just a name, it's just a name.
Yeah, actually, Bishop is my name.
Somebody was asking me on Twitter, is it Bishop Samuel Kazimba or who is it? I don't know, it's just Bishop. Bishop Samuel.
Yeah, it's Bishop is just my name.
What's your African name? Do you have an African name?
Yes, I do.
Which one is that?
Nachibingi.
Nachibingi. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah,
we discuss patriotism at length, gentlemen. I know you've been following the show.
Yeah.
And today we want to look at active citizenship. As a citizen, what is it that you do really that shows you are willing to have this country move forward? That's where we are today. But before we go into full discussion, we took the same question to a few people outside there, and they shared with us what they think about putting country first and what is the duty of a citizen. Later on, if you can, you will share with us your thoughts on the duty of a citizen. The number will be shared, and what you think can be done to create more awareness about this duty.
Fenga bannansi okukulaakulanya ensi tekyetaagisa nti omuntu olina okumala kufuna nnyo. Osobola okulaba nga olinamu ssente zo entonotono, n'olaba nga omuntu ali mu bwetaavu, naawe n'obaako ky'okola, so sigamba nti ate gavumenti tefuddeeyo nnyo, ate mugagga gundi alina nnyo, yalina okumala kukwata mu nsawo, naawe oba olinamu k'olinamu ng'olinamu akatonotono, naawe yamba muntu munno mu byetaago ebimu, kuba oyinza osanga oli nga mulwadde nga gavumenti erina ebirala byeddukanya, kati gwoba oli bulungi kokko akatonotono, naawe n'obaako ky'okola n'okola omusingi gwo, kubeera naawe oba okoledde bwa Katonda, kuba ebintu bya gavumenti oluusi ebisuubiza ne bitatuuka.
Bw'oba olaganga ensi ogyagala, oba olina okukola, kale oba olina okulemerako, kale kati olaba omulimu gwange ntunda masiki, bw'otakola era baba balina okukwata. Nze bansi bakonze bonda bantwala polisi y'ebulenga ne bansibisa Sunday nenvaayo okuba essimu mu kyalo, then bansinja emitwalo 2 okufuna capital n'engula masiki, ntandika kusobola masiki, ngamba abavubuka abalala bayiye kale tebabeera awo nga tebalina byakukola. Wano n'opoota wano mu bizimbe wano olunaku bakuwayo omutwalo emitwalo ebiri so kwiya tosobola okubeera nga tolina mulimu.
Kati nganze omulimu gwenkola ntukira wansi ku ground bana ba boda abafutsindira ku mastage mbasomesa kubanga kati singa obeera muvubuka ng'ovuga boda oyinza okufuna obuvunaanyizibwa n'ogenda mu kyalo n'oteekako ekirimiro n'otandika okuluma ng'olusuku lw'amatooke n'oluma akatunkuma naye ng'okwata akasente ko k'ofunye ku boda n'okasindika mu kyalo oba n'ogulayo ente oba n'osooka kulunda embuzi n'omukyalo kennyini naye n'afuna omulimo. Nange nsanga obuvunaanyizibwa bw'amaanyi nnyo okulaba muvuzi wange wa boda owa wansi ng'alina omusomesa naye omuvuzi owa wansi agenda asomesa omuvuzi ow'omu kyalo. Kati buli omu yeetaaga munne. Ennaku ze tuli mu bulwadde bwa COVID-19 basomesa okwambala masiki n'ekirala ngaffe aba boda okusanga ovuga boda naye nga toweka bantu babiri. N'ekirala osanga owa boda ebyaddala nga ayisa owa motoka naye nga muyisa bubi naye ffenna tuli ab'enda ya Nakalama. Mbagamba owa boda n'owa taxi n'owa motoka ffenna tuli omuntu ogwo omukubanga ojja kukeera ku makya owa taxi ng'oba oyisa bubi owa boda enkya osanga owa boda ebyaddala alina motoka.
Enkolagano ennungi n'enkulaakulana okugeza mu by'okulaakulana nga waliwo obumu okulaakulanya enguudo okuzimba amalwaliro okuzimba amasomero kyekituyambako ebimu okuleeta kwenkulaakulana mu nsi yaffe n'okwongera emirimu okukola okunyiikira okukola nga tetweyunira nnyo ebyamasanyu weebiri naye tukole ebintu ebituzimba mu nsi yaffe wano n'eggwanga lyaffe okutwaliza awamu ng'ate tugondera n'abakulembeze. Sabo enkulaakulana nga eya Nayikondo mu bitundu nungi nnyo ddala era kyekimu ekikuuma obulamu okunywa amazzi amalungi. Naye ekizibu ekiriwo gavumenti bwe tuterawo nga Nayikondo ezo ne wabeerawo n'ababaka abakiika ebiteeso byaffe ebyokuba nga tufuna Nayikondo ezo tetubikozesa bulungi ate nga biriyamba ffe. Kye tulina okukola gavumenti bwe beesobodde otuteekawo naffe twekolemu omulimu tunoonyewo abasaale abasobola okuba nga bagirabirira ne bwe tutoolayoku kafi akatonotono kasobole okuba nga kagiwa tufuna saaviisi yaayo singa eba eyonoonese kubanga nkulaakulana nnungi nnyo. Ku mulembe gwa Jennifer no wabaddewo tusobodde okuba nga ekibuga kikyukamu naddala okubeera ebyobuyonjo bataddewo containers ezisuulibwamu kasasiro naye ogenda okulaba n'omuntu mu mmotoka nga ali mu mmotoka alya anywa byamalwa n'asuula wali ne tutakozesa biki bituyambako okukuuma obulamu bwaffe ng'ebyobuyonjo. Singa naffe tugoberera amateeka n'ebisaaniiko ng'ebyo biba bisaanidde okuteekebwa kubanga tulina abakozi wano abayoola kasasiro naye bweffe kennyini abantu ffe tweyonoonera ebitundu ekibuga kyaffe. Singa tugoberera amateeka ne tulaba n'ebifo ebituufu ebisaanidde okuba nga biteekebwamu kasasiro ng'oyo kubanga abavunaanyizibwako weebali kituyamba okubeera nga tukuuma obulamu bwaffe nga bulungi ate n'ekibuga kyaffe okubeera nga kiyonjo.
I want to be the right way and I have to show to the country, to all my colleagues, that I'm doing the right thing at the right time, at the same time. Not acting in the bad way, not grabbing people's property, helping people, guiding people, helping this young kid that do this A, B, C, D. So you have to see that this one is stealing or is not stealing. You have to give him the advice that you stop this, go and do a work. You have to sweat as a real citizen.
I think all we need to do is to love one another. Love one another, do good to one another. That's what we need to do. That is a loaded statement. It means when you are in an office, you have to serve. You serve to your fullest. Make sure your good ethics, you have courtesy, you're putting in all the time you need to make a change. You're good to the people that come to you. Give them the service they require all the time. If everyone does that wherever they are, that will cause change to this country.
What we are witnessing is where you find the RDC has his position, the chairman of the district has his position, the chairman movement has his position, the cow has his position. Please, my advice would be that please put your personal differences.
Put your personal differences aside. That's Bashasha himself. You've had the points coming in from the people we talked to. Responsibility, sharing knowledge. I think that's active citizenship. That's what we're talking about.
True.
And maybe I start with Bishop. He's from the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. I have not heard you, at least you, Bishop, and maybe the minister, yes, maybe once in a while, talking about active citizenship. Maybe you've been talking about it in another form, but you can tell us what are you doing about this topic as Ministry of National Guidance?
You see, like you have said, maybe here on NTV.
Maybe.
Maybe on NTV.
Elsewhere you've been doing it?
Exactly. Elsewhere I've been doing it as a communications officer for the ministry. But now that I'm here, let me use the chance to communicate. Now, let us first look at one of the responsibilities of a citizen. That one is expected to respect rights of others. That is one. Then the other, it is to work with law enforcement agencies to maintain law and order. And then the other is to fight corruption. The issue of corruption is for all of us. It's not for just a certain group of people that they are the ones responsible to fight corruption, but it's a responsibility of all of us. The reason as to why some people feel that Uganda is it's for a few people, it is because they feel that the responsibilities mentioned there above they are not part of them. Actually, what I have left out, what I had forgotten is, the other thing is civic education. It's a responsibility for all of us. It's a responsibility for all of us. If I know something, what's the problem with educating my fellow Ugandan so that they can be in the know?
To share knowledge.
Yes, to share knowledge. You know, like to love your country, it should be like the way actually you would love your own self. Uganda is for all of us. Uganda is not for the party in power, it's not for President Museveni, it's for all of us. All the policies that the government is trying to spearhead, it is not to help a few individuals, but it is to help all of us. But the only problem is, maybe what I can say, it is that, you know, much as all of this is out there, you realize that even the literate cannot help other people, like in educating them and, you know, sharing knowledge. And if they decide to share knowledge, they are as selfish as, you know, sharing wrong information or diversions.
What could be the problem? Why are some people not taking on the role, you know, of active citizenship?
Why they're not taking on the role of active citizenship, you know, this one also comes from our leaders, okay? This also comes from our leaders. Some of them are not in those offices to serve the people as they're supposed to serve, but they are there to serve their own self-interests. That one also damages us actually as government, pulls us back a bit, you know, and this is not on only the people in government, even those in government. Now we are talking about the whole Uganda. Okay? If you're a leader, you know you have people who are following you. Let's say, for example, MPs and any leader, because most of the leaders we have go through an election. That means there are people following you. Okay? So if you don't help them to know what you know, and you keep it to yourself, and the moment you decide to share it, you are sharing either diversion or you are giving wrong information, then you're not helping. So some of our people will remain in the dark. Let's say, for example, to me, actually, right now, the first role of a citizen who loves his country and who love themselves, they would have gone for COVID-19 vaccination.
Duty number one.
Yeah, duty number one, right now.
According to existing circumstances.
Yes, according to existing circumstances, they would have gone for COVID-19 vaccination. This is a matter of life and death. But it is so disturbing to hear and see that the whole issue has turned into a it's a political issue now. It's no longer a matter of life and death. We have 40,000 Walusimbi cases today. There are 40,000 cases. Government has provided the vaccination, whether in private facilities. Some private facilities have the vaccine. Public facilities, they are there. And still, our people have not gone for this vaccination. Our leaders are just kept quiet, you know, instead of encouraging even those who elected them into office today. Please go and vaccinate. They are not, you know, and they are the very ones actually. And you know what is most disturbing is that some of them have already even got the first dose, okay, but they cannot encourage the electorate that, you know what, go for a vaccination
as well.
They will instead start citing, you know, it this side effect. Where is that drug which doesn't have side effect? Even when you eat a lot of food, there's side effect to that. How about a vaccine?
So the problem is about leadership.
The problem is,
you're pointing specifically to those in elective positions.
Not only those ones, even religious leaders. Even religious leaders. Tell me, we are here. Tell me of one religious leader who has ever been actually preaching their sermons, and they say, please, you know what? The vaccine is here, please go.
At least I've had a number of them.
I haven't, and when there is another faith, and for them, they know that God will just heal it just automatically by miracle.
That's being complacent.
It will go. No, these things happen.
Mr. Basasha, we need now to mitigate this. Yeah. The leaders are falling short, you know, of that duty of sharing knowledge, and individuals as well. Okay. So some of us are taking a lot of time on social media, discussing a lot of nothing. We invest in the MBs, I don't know what, then start Lugambo from around this time up to midnight. So we need to find solutions to mitigate this.
Thank you, Warisim. Maybe before I proceed on the issue of solutions, first of all, I want to thank NTV for bringing this conversation to the table, because it's quite an interesting and intriguing conversation that should trigger a mind of each Ugandan to redefine ourselves and ask ourselves, when we talk about us as Ugandans, what defines us and what makes us, you know, have that common identity as Ugandans, irrespective of the other differences that may occur, whether religious or political or tribal or ethnic, whatever, mention about it. But what are those indicators that can bring us together as Ugandans? I would also like to thank our Office of the President, the Patriotism Secretariat, which has been championing this cause for making sure that people try to understand the relevance of patriotism and what it means in national development. Having listened to many conversations that have been captured on the ground, and I'm glad that you went down on the ground and asked people. Yes, and I'm happy that I could still see and feel a sense of Ugandanism among them, depending on how they are defining this issue of patriotism. But there are like three issues that cut across, that come through these conversations. One of them is a sense of responsibility. I could see many of them are saying this Uganda First means you as a citizen must have a sense of responsibility in terms of how you behave or act as a citizen, which is okay. Two, love for the country. That was also coming through, which I think is very, very important. Then the other issue was the hard work, doing good. Maybe here we need also to go further and look at what is the common good that everyone can be participating in, where everybody can benefit as a country. From time to time, you have heard the president in his communications sometimes talking about pseudo-ideology. Pseudo-ideology, the ideology that emphasizes identity of trying to look at ourselves from those sectarian aspects. But
he calls it pseudo.
Yes, it is pseudo. Now, you will agree with me. You will agree with me that, Mr. Orsim, that
we lack probably what we would call a national ideology. What can make us define us as Ugandans? And this is also because we also lack what I would call a national value system. What are those values that we believe in as citizens?
As a country.
Yes, me and you are Simbi, I come from Ankole, you come from Buganda, but we are all Ugandans. So what is it that
shared vision, shared
if you
ideology.
met me and met Warsimbi, these are Ugandans, although they may be coming from different areas, but these are Ugandans. And this is a very, very important conversation if we really want to move this country. So do we have a shared value system that can identify us as Ugandans, that can define us as citizens of this country? So it's very, very important, and that's why I'm grateful that this conversation has been coming through. I also wanted to share with the viewers the duties of a citizen as enshrined in our constitution. The constitution is very clear in its national objectives and state policy. And the, chapter 29 of that talks about the duties of a citizen. And there are not many, I'll just go through very fast. The first one is to be patriotic and loyal to Uganda and promote its well-being. The second one is to engage in gainful work for the good of that citizen, the family, and the common good, and to contribute to national development. The third one is to contribute to the well-being of the community where the citizen lives. The fourth one is to promote responsible parenthood. So the other one is to foster national unity and live in harmony with others, to promote democracy and the rule of law, and lastly, to acquaint himself or herself with the provisions of the Constitution and to uphold and defend the Constitution and the law. So as we probably get along with this conversation, it's important that first and foremost, we must see how compliant
we are,
or deviant from the...
In regard to that chapter.
Yes, this chapter, which I think will, explains well really what could be the issue of the citizen. Of course, as a country, we come a long way. We have had our share of challenges, politically, political breakdown, economic breakdown, and this has probably resulted in some attitudes developed over time, whether we still look at ourselves as people who still love our country or not. I have been in charge of manifesto implementation, monitoring and whatever. So I have experience of where you go to, and I've moved this whole country. You know, when you look at the projects, the programs that have been made by the country, where the country has invested a lot, you find a situation whereby, let's take an example like roads, and you find in another 2-3 months, the road guards are removed. And there was a purpose why the road was made and the road guards were introduced in those very sections.
Very disturbing.
Exactly. You go to the...
guards, reflectors.
You go to the water issues, maybe these Naikondos.
I understand what you mean.
Now, something, you know, you are in a community.
And there is a
maybe
borehole.
somehow, somewhere, there is it has developed a fault. But instead of meeting as a community and solve it, nobody wants to know. It's like, I don't care. Until maybe government comes in to sort this out. Therefore, it no longer means something useful to you as the community. Yet you are the direct beneficiaries of the presence of this project, of this borehole here. And many, many others. So, and these are not tribal things. Stealing road guards is not a tribal issue. It's not a religious issue. So we need to up our appreciation of what does it take to be a citizen. One of the key challenges I have also found is that along the way, there has been a lot of politicization of some of these, of the understanding of the appreciation of what it makes to be a citizen. So if today, maybe we are of a given political grouping, probably maybe we may think we are more citizen than others in terms of appreciating where the country is going. And the others also tend to think they are not citizens enough to protect what has been brought before them. You have seen in a situation where, for us in Ankole, we say, biona byasiskire nitwekatushishe, meaning that even you know, somebody calling on the security to be defiant. You know, law and order is very, very important. Even where things may not be going well for you in the circumstances, but it's not fair to start inculcating a message of trying to cause the security forces to defy. Because tomorrow you will be a leader here. So what happens in those circumstances?
If somebody...
Yeah, if you are staying encouraged to throw stones at the security forces, yes, the security forces could be overzealous in the way they are managing given situations, which can be explained or handled. But it's not fair to say you citizens start getting stones and throw at these people, because when that culture picks up and it's appreciated, even tomorrow when you come into leadership, we will know it's very easy to throw a stone at the president. It's okay to throw a stone at the police. It's okay to throw a stone at an army person. So there are areas where, even where we have differences, whether politically or religiously or whatever, but as a country, we need to have those intersection areas which bring us together.
And going forward, I think that's where the challenge is. Going forward, we need, we in the media, you in the ministry, the office of the president, to pass on information, share knowledge with us.
Exactly. That's why I'm appreciative that this conversation is coming on board.
If somebody is corrupt somewhere and they stole billions, it doesn't mean you vandalize the borehole.
You are the same. If you are in an office and you don't behave responsibly, you are causing hemorrhages in town because you are impacting negatively on the service delivery. All these. So that's why I was saying that it's critical that as a country we need to move and probably have like what you'd call a national value system. This is what defines us as Ugandans. If it's corruption, we all hate it. Doesn't have to be corruption is hated by Baganda and loved by Banyankore.
We hate it equally.
We should hate it equally. So if it is an issue of trust, an issue of honesty, an issue of doing good for the community, for example, a culture like when you know these are our old people, we need to, if you are in a bus, I must stand, give an opportunity to an old person to sit. Things like that. So we must have those cultures embedded in our value system, and then through that we can be able to have a strong foundation for the life of our country, which can have indicators that can be measured, that can be seen. And then as a country, we can proudly say, because I have seen, sometimes you are singing the national anthem, somebody is busy scratching his head. Somebody is also seated. Maybe he's standing up, or he or she is standing up at the second stanza. So you wonder whether there is then you wonder whether this one knew whether it was the national anthem praying, or he's somebody from a foreign country and didn't know that the praying tune was the national anthem. So that's where we are.
The little acts of kindness Mr. Bashasha is talking about, they also depict that one, loves their country. They're putting country first. You don't need money to implement the duties of a good citizen. You don't.
We have to feel it. We have to feel it, and we shall make sure that Ugandans feel it. Actually, adding on what the director has been saying, one of the duties to promote Uganda. Really, we have the 5th largest bridge in Africa, in Uganda, that connects us to Mombasa. Okay, we have a 4-lane bridge along Kampala Express Highway. That's Nabijiro Bridge, built over a swamp. Nabijiro, built over a swamp. But these bridges are there. Instead of Ugandans appreciating, most especially a 4-lane bridge, these things we are seeing them in the movies. They are here now in Uganda. Instead of appreciating that, okay, now we're having a 4-lane bridge, utilize it, they still look for the smallest mistake of that bridge, and it's the one they're going to promote. Or either on social media or...
But you should also make sure you tell us about these things as often as you can.
You see me, we do. We do.
I'll give another
really.
example. You know,
Really?
like in
We
these
do.
road construction projects, you find the siphoning of fuel.
Fuel, yes.
Yes, you may be in your short-sightedness, thinking you are making a deal and making a gain, but at the end of the day, the total,
The cost goes back
yes,
to
the
government
total,
and back to you again.
even the project will delay because the contractor's budgeting according to his BOQs on how long he would be taking to finish that road, given that amount of fuel, because the fuel now is being siphoned and sold here. People will be saying, yes, it's good the road has come here, not because the road is being constructed, but because they are able to siphon fuel and sell it. So we should be having a culture of saying, no, this fuel was meant for this project that is going on here. Whoever is seen either buying or trying to promote selling of that fuel which is got from these trucks is against us, because the project that the fuel is intended to work on is being mismanaged, and you report to the authorities.
You abuse the act.
Somebody is trying to.
I hear you, Mr. Belshasha.
Yes,
Gentlemen, we're going to take a break. When we return, we shall read a few comments from our viewers. We're using a WhatsApp number on the screen there. You can send a WhatsApp or the traditional SMS as we know it. Some of them I'll be able to read them. We are reflecting on the duty of a citizen. We are discussing how to put Uganda first. How do you portray the patriotism in you? Do not go away. We are coming back shortly. All right, welcome back. You're watching Uganda First. My name is Frank Simbi in studio. I am with Mr. Bashasha. He's from the Manifesto Implementation Department in the Office of the President, and Mr. Bishop Samuel. He's from the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. They're supposed to guide us on things like these: active citizenship, patriotism. Tell me about volunteering. I don't hear this thing come out quite often in Uganda. People do not know that volunteering is also a duty. It is a good thing to do. I see young people going to look for jobs. And at the interview I've had from conversation, they asked somebody, have you ever volunteered anywhere? And the person has never. And in other countries, it is very, very crucial. If you say that I have volunteered in project this, in community this, that is a tick. You know, they're like, this person, yes, he can work with us. But in Uganda, I don't know. Why don't we also emphasize this? We need to, I think so. Yeah. Bishop.
Okay. Yeah, yes, we need to emphasize it. You are very right. And you see, when you are, like in those countries you have mentioned, when you go to, for a job interview, and you are being asked if you ever volunteered, two things they're looking out, according to me. They're looking out for your patriotism, first of all, in your country. Okay? Then secondly, you have to be multi-purpose. Okay? Like, let's say, Walusimbi is not here. Bishop, can't you help and then run these duties without asking for an extra cost so that we can move work forward of a company? Okay. Now, when it comes here, yes, a few they do volunteer. When Red Cross calls, they come, but the number is not enough. Okay.
So sometimes they turn up because there is going to be some lunch allowance. But the spirit of Mfunirawa seems to have taken over Uganda.
Yes. So that's it.
How do I benefit?
Yes.
You're telling me to clean the road, I don't know. Mfunirawa. That attitude.
This is the attitude actually that we have to dilute from our people's minds. Okay, as government now it has to come down to us, even if it means to put our leaders maybe under one roof, just to educate them about volunteering, such that they can take it to the grassroots for our people to understand it. It will be okay. Because now, for instance, even if there is a project in your community, you know it's going to benefit you, all right? But the fact that you think the people who are in it have already received something, even if they have not received, you will not engage in it, okay? Instead, maybe the best you will volunteer to engage in it. Like one of the people you are trying to interview on the streets, like, you know, we have a borehole and then we take it out. So that's the best they can volunteer to engage. Maybe it is to remove that borehole or to spoil it, to, you know, to make sure that it doesn't exist anymore. But to make sure that that borehole, it is serving all of us, so it has to ensure that it is clean and so on, that one can't do, it's not there. And you see even the people, some of the people, the leaders, they have made it look like really, it is always something for something. There shouldn't be, that voluntary spirit shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there. Maybe it is still existing in a few churches, but when it comes now to the whole national, at the national level, it's not there. But again, we shall not sit back and relax. We need to volunteer. And the same way we're talking about patriotism, nobody is going to pay you or Lusimbi to be patriotic. You have to be patriotic. But the best way is to make sure we make you understand the purpose of being patriotic. And it's the best way, after you being patriotic, you will manage to fight corruption without fear or favor. You have eaten this money, it has been ours to construct this road, please give us accountability. But it is very also another worrying thing that we have district ex-officials, call them MPs, they don't even bother at all to follow accountabilities of monies sent to districts and constituencies. Okay, so basically, if you can't, you a leader, you can't volunteer to follow up finances being allocated to your district. Really, tell me how someone actually you are leading, how are they going to be? How are they going to volunteer in anything in the constituencies? That's why you see some parts of Uganda are lagging behind, and others are way forward. And then after that, the issue of tribalism kicks in. You get what I'm saying? The issue of tribalism kicks in. But it goes back to the leaders. Me, I will insist, it goes back to the leaders. But nevertheless, government will not sit back because some people are not doing their jobs. For us, we shall go on to make sure that Ugandans understand the purpose of being patriotic and the purpose of volunteering. Altogether equals to love your country, so that you will promote it positively elsewhere.
Friends, we need to stop the attitude of to whom it may concern. We must take action, we must be participatory when it comes to some of these things that help this country move forward. Talking about that, another duty of a citizen is to follow what is happening in government. And I don't know, Mr. Bashasha, when you go there to talk about the manifesto, do people ask, do people have a checklist? Do they put you on task to explain what you've done and where you failed and how you think you will improve?
Yeah, thank you very much. Everything else rotates around what I would call a mindset. And I think this is an area where we need to do a lot to change the mindset of a Ugandan to appreciate this conversation. But I'm glad to say that in the new NDP3, the National Development Plan 3, there's a whole program dedicated to this mindset changing, and this will call for establishment of the national service where some young people can still participate in some activities even before they continue with their education, to inculcate in them a spirit of loving their communities and their country. Now, coming to that issue which you are raising.
Do people ask you questions exactly. and they make you uncomfortable?
First of all, you must understand where the people even aware. That's the starting point. Even when we do these manifestos, are they read? We've just finished the research around with UBOS to do a study on the aspect of reading. It was the percentage is very embarrassing. 12% of the respondents were like this.
I know of politicians who don't even know.
So what we are saying is that the starting point would be for one to pick interest in what is being communicated at that point. Yes. Even these manifestos are out and we have voted us in power, get to know what is in. And then it's from there that everything starts building into those questions at different levels. If it is about the releases that have gone into a district, are the leaders themselves at that level, the chairperson, the chief administrative officer may be aware as a technical officer, but the political leader, the chairperson, our representative of government there, the RDC,
the council
and the council and the councillors, are they aware that this is what has come to the district? This is how it is being appropriated to benefit the different projects or under the plan. This is how the different projects are going to be distributed within the within the whole geographical setup of the administrative unit, so that even citizens can now go to their sub-county and say, by the way, I am a citizen. Let me use an example like of a Chabjim sub-county in my place. In this quarter, they were supposed to do our community access road. In this quarter, we are expecting 2 boreholes. So even in the absence of that, so it's very hard for now a citizen to come and start asking. So we need also to improve on the area of the citizens getting interest in what is due for them, so that these questions can really be factual and on point. Otherwise, many times than not, you will hear, even here at this level, at a national level, you will hear even people coming here and then they start speculating about. Even others will say, no, there is nothing done. We don't know. But my experience through the programs of communicating, popularizing what has been done in different parts of the country, I am glad that the citizens now are mindful of this. And they
are starting to be mindful.
They ask, they say.
Many times they wait upon the media to relay for.
Of course, sometimes certain things are mixed up. They may want to mix up the manifesto commitments with probably presidential pledges and other related aspects. But to me, it's a positive direction. And secondly, even when you are there and the citizens criticize this and that, you may find even the issues are more of administrative nature and not necessarily that the commitments are not there. So, getting to the bottom line of your question is that yes, citizens can ask, but it's not to the level of where they should be pressing their questions, because on the onset they didn't even bother to know what was it that they should either be getting or getting to know.
And if citizens don't know the leadership,
so the citizen
must sit back and relax.
That's when the citizen should be able to know that, you know, he should look now at that as his right to know what is either due to him or due to his community, and then see whether that is delivered on.
I am thinking we have
maybe Mr.
comments coming in now.
To add on before you go to the comments.
Yes.
Like these manifestos, they are service delivery documents of a particular term that the government is going to do for the people.
So
that's why it is very important for every Ugandan to read it, regardless of your political affiliation, like Mr. Basaj said. You read it, know at what particular time is government going to do this. They have been in power the other time. What are they going to do this time? What are they accountable for? What are we supposed to look out for? You get. But leaving it aside because you think it's an interim issue, also it doesn't make really. It doesn't make really
that's one thing, by the way, we want to deconstruct.
These are service delivery documents.
To have the feeling that patriotism or knowing your civil rights or putting country first is a matter of NRM or President himself. We want to deconstruct that.
Exactly.
And let people know that it is actually incumbent on you as a person to be patriotic, regardless of which political party you belong to, like you're putting it, Bishop.
Yeah, the best way to be accountable to your country, follow these documents.
All right, let's see what some of the viewers are saying from WhatsApp and SMS. Maybe they can be relayed on screen. All right, Bashasha, thanks for teaching patriotism to Ugandans. I am Shakira. in Rwemi Rokora. That's your
home area.
Your home area, Ishaka.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for watching. We are live in Makerere. The problem is that we try to be patriotic, but we are not given a chance to express.
You don't need to express. You act, you behave as at individual level.
Uganda first, yes, but you leaders are patriotic enough. You need to cherish your country first, then we shall. You need to cherish the country, your country first, then we shall learn from you. You can start and be there before them. Surprise them, be the first. Okay, people have always been patriotic, but you, the leaders, have killed the spirit of patriotism. Talk about poor service delivery by government officials. Derek in Fort Portal. We are live in Makerere. Please don't call on this number because there is no way we will be able to read these messages. We are live in Makerere. The problem is that we try to be patriotic. Oh, okay. Same person is sending several. Good morning in Chenjojo. For us, one time my dad decided to volunteer at one school and provide pupils with pens, books, sets. But when he gave them out, when he went, the head teacher told pupils that they will take you, illuminate. You missed a word there, something I'm not saying, you see? Okay, the good spirit was turned around. Okay, but volunteering is really a good thing. We should pick up the practice to volunteer.
I think this even in the past times, we used what we were called community participation programs, volunteer community, which was called Burunju Bwansi. Find like a community living in a given road. Maybe all of you, say on a Saturday, you just come out to go and clean. If you are well, it's not good, you will go as a community, clean it up. Yeah, things like that. But they have slowly died down, and now everything is like you are saying.
It's a political campaign strategy now. Burundi
yes, what is it? And the second thing is that the citizens have also developed this mindset of being on a receiving side. Nobody wants to give to his country. Every time it's like, government to Yambi. Even something that is next to your home, you even want government to Yambi, even to come and wash your plates. There is a time when this NADS program had started. So at one point in my district, they went and started bringing this marching grass, which was supplied now by the NADS. And some farmers were like, but nobody has come also to lay it in the plantation. So you can imagine if we have degenerated.
That was beyond laziness.
Yeah, if we have degenerated that, but this is what we are experiencing, and this is what all the citizens countryside are. So we need a huge investment in turning around this kind of situation. And one of the issues to deal with is our mindset as we stand at this moment. And nobody is safe, even at our own levels. I want to say that we need...
All right, let's end with protesting a civil right or civil rights. How best can a citizen protest a civil right? If I think something is not going on well in the ministry of Bob's ministry, Bishop's ministry of guidance, or even in your department, and I want to protest, I want to tell you, hey, things are not doing well. How best can I protest my civil right?
You see, every country, every society is organized with the laws, regulations, and whatever. And I believe all the laws that we have in this country are very clear on how you can express your dissatisfaction on any issue. And I think what we need to do is to strengthen these institutions to be able to handle those mechanisms, because it's a right of every citizen here to contribute to the well-being of the community where the citizen lives, but also to promote democracy and the rule of law. So to me, it's not like we should appear like the country is lawless whereby now we feel that we need to take the law in our hands. There are many laws in this country which give opportunity to us as citizens on how we can express our dissatisfaction. And I think it is important that we take advantage of them, but also to strengthen those institutions to be able to deal with these matters in a fair and a just manner.
Bishop.
You see, with me, really, I'm just thinking, in the first place, why would you even protest? Yes, I know it's your right, but why would you even protest? Like as if we are not approachable. If we're not approachable, that's an issue. But this is the government where I know that when someone is dissatisfied about a certain service, really, they will approach the people who are in that office or who are responsible in that office. Not until you have done that. Because, you know, to me, it's really, before you go through the channels, it would be the last thing, last resort, one would think of to exercise their right. And actually, if you are exercising your right, knowing that you are respecting Article 17 of the Constitution, that you have to mind about others' freedom, much as you do it. That's why you need to go to the police, say, you know what, we want to express our dissatisfaction on A, B, C, D. Which routes can we follow? When can we do it? Okay, the only problem is, much as you are saying that, the others is not that they are protesting for that particular dissatisfaction, but they are trying to make an accountability over something actually, which is not necessarily that.
Well,
but
on the surface it appears to be.
Yes, on the surface appears to be, okay, this road is not constructed, it's supposed to be constructed, but then when you go under that reason, the exact reason is just hidden under the road not being constructed for a certain period of time. When you ask them, okay, did you try to consult UNRWA? Because the leader of a protest, I'm very sure they have a capacity to contact the authorities concerned, but they don't. That's why I said the activity is always hidden under something else. Whereas it's not bad, but government is approachable. It is approachable. Everyone in government is approachable, and as long as actually you have responsibility in government, you are accountable to the citizens. As long as you are a leader in government, you are accountable to the citizens. As long as you have responsibility in a public office, you are accountable to a taxpayer. So before you think of going to protest, why don't you first follow channels? Say, okay, who's responsible for this is ABCD. Until you say, I went to so-and-so's office, I reached there, they gave me hard time. Up to now, I didn't see him. This is what I had to do. And this is a police letter allowing me to do this. But most of them even have no police clearance.
So you're saying it has to be peaceful. Of course, peaceful protest is a civil right.
It is.
Even in
the Constitution, it's there.
Provided for.
Yes, it's very, but Article 17, read it, mind about other people's freedom. Much as you are doing that, someone else is not into that. Someone else is looking for survival. Now you are coming, you are going to disorganize his survival plans of the day, much as you think even that is your survival for that day.
All right. Next time we shall discuss further, you know, how best to do that, how to express your dissatisfaction
in the right manner.
The event that
we have structures, we have police, they will guide you.
So that, you know, so long much as protesting is a civil right, but still we do it in a...
Let it be respected. Let that civil right be respected, not abused.
Exactly. Thank you. We're leaving out many comments. They are coming in. Sorry, time is running out. It's actually noon, and we should be out of here already. Thank you for coming, gentlemen. Mr. Bashasha and Bob Samuel.
Bishop Samuel.
Why am I saying Bob? Bishop.
I don't know.
Bishop Samuel. Nachivinga. Yes. Good to have you on the program. I hope I'll have you maybe on another show.
Sure.
Day.
Sure.
Right.
Just one call away.
Uganda First. Next Thursday we shall be here again from 11 a.m. afternoon. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.